molding section, which mold preparation is carried out. The short wasting section. Here this is the furnace section in which the melting iron, it was poured into the mold box. The melting temperature of the molten metal, it is 1450 degrees Celsius. This is again the molding area where the molten metal is poured into the mold box. This is the core section in which cores are prepared. This is another plate in which the workplace environment is shown. This is the core shocking which cores are prepared. There is again the sand preparation is carried out. Again, this is short grafting section and the other molding section. Next one. This is the grinding activity. This is the furnace maintenance activity, and this is the molding activity. This chart is detailed. The flow chart of the operation of the typical foundry. In the pattern shop patterns were laid. In the core shop cores are developed, and in the sand part, sand is prepared. After that, in the molding section, the mold making process is carried out along with the pouring activity. And in the furnace section, the charging, melting, plugging, refining, and the furnace maintenance is carried out. In foundry industry, workers were working in the various sections like sand plant, core shop, molding section, etc. The questionnaire survey reveals that most of the workers working in the foundry are illiterate, smoker, alcoholic, learning less money as compared to the work, and only 3 workers are teetotaler. Health status of the foundry workers, it was found to be subnormal. Most of the workers complain about body ache, lower back pain, chest pain, weakness, warm body, eye irritation, pain in joints and hands, etc. Some workers also suffer from the physical injuries like the burst from the scratches of the molten metal, as well as the hand injury due to manual handling of the material. Survey of working environment in foundry indicates that the work environment was extremely adverse and prevalence with the high temperature, high noise intensity, dust concentration and poor ventilation, variety of fumes as well as the excessive workload. These conditions make it extremely difficult to maintain appropriate level of health status of the foundry worker. This table shows the mean body temperature values in degrees Celsius. This table shows the pulse rate according to the work exposure. This table shows the blood pressure values in mmHg. As age of the worker, as the exposure year, work exposure year increases, the blood pressure of the worker is also shown similarly. This is the last table in which the mean blood examination values of different sections are shown. These are the 5 sections starting with the sand plant up to the pelting section. This one is obvious, these are the control values. Here, it shows the significant result. If you observe the neutrophil percent, the neutrophil percent in fetal infection it is decreased as compared to the control, as well as the core shop, it is also decreased. For the eosinophil percent in the sand plant, it is increased. When we compare to the control, as well as the fetal infection, it is also increased. Then, as well as in the fetal shop, the basophil values are also increased. The noise level in the fetal shock, it ranges. It goes above the 102, 105 decibel. Noise level above the 100 decibel, it can cause the permanent hearing loss, headache, and the tinnitus. Like in body environmental factors, inadequate illumination, it leads to the poor coordination of eye, and it makes the situation more complicated and workers complain about visual strain. Heat strain is another important environmental stress factor which affect the health system of the workers. Environmental conditions of the body are too hot near the core furnace and the melting area, and physiological response of the workers are affected due to the artificial thermal heat. In the present investigation, hematological parameters have been assessed, which include hemoglobin and different leukocyte count. Most of the workers have HB level above 10 grams per deciliter. Alteration in the WBC count have been recognized as a major of physiological reactions of the body to the noxious agent, and these alterations give useful indications of the nature of pathological process. In this section, noise level is higher, and the concentration of metals and silica dust is also higher. In fetal shock, the behavior of the WBC becomes typical, that is eosinophil, and the basophil number was found to be increased, while in fetal section, values of eosinophil and basophil were normal. Recommendations. Based on the observations, it is recommended that workers are advised to use the mask to avoid inhalation of the various dust. They should to the comfort and maintenance of the health of the foundry workers, which will help to increase the productivity rate.
At the outset, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the chairpersons for having permitted me to present this paper today. Otherwise, they would have closed the session when Dr. More presented it. So this is the last paper they have accommodated for the day. I am very thankful to you, sir, once again. After having had a number of presentations on health-related problems Now I am going to present a paper on pest control related problems. We have been working with the University of Mysore, Department of Sericulture, on the pests associated with mulberry cultivation and silkworm rearing, using some eco-friendly techniques, not using any chemical, a non-chemical eco-friendly measure, using the parasitoids. Parasitoids are nothing but the parasitic insects, and we have found highly encouraging results using the parasitoids. They will go a long way in the field of sericulture because the use of chemical control measure is not very much encouraged because of the sensitivity of the silkworm to these chemical control measures. Silkworm, we have the pest in the form of leaf roller, Nereid caterpillar, cutworm, mealybugs, number of pests like that. So we have been advocating the biological control using parasitoids, and we have found encouraging results. One of the parasitoids we have used is named Tetrastachys hovardi, which is a Hymenopterus parasitoid belonging to the family Ulopidae, and it is a broad spectral parasitoid having the potential to suppress a number of pests associated with mulberry plant and also some of the horticultural and agricultural crops. So we have been mainly concentrating on exploiting this parasitoid in the management of the pests associated in the field of sericulture. So we have taken up the work with the objectives of studying the old-fashioned behavioral activities of this parasitoid, what type of host it prefers, and whether it prefers young host, whether it prefers older host, whether it prefers bigger host or smaller host. So when it makes an attempt to attack or work visit in a host, ultimately the host gets killed because it's a endoparasitoid, and when it attacks the host, host can never escape to death. And we have also made an attempt to document the clutch-related oviposition or clutch-related egg allocation to the host. Our materials methods include this particular parasitoid, and we have considered that the host age in the form of the young and the old puparia of the Uji fly, which is a serious problem in silkworm rearing, and that's the parasitoid what you are seeing. The left one is this is the female, this is the male, this is the young pupa, this is the old pupa. Old pupa can be identified based on the color. So young pupa are lighter in color, light brown, and dark or dark brown in color, the old pupa. One is old-fashioned behavioral events, then the time allocated for each of the old-fashioned behavioral events, and then the brood allocation to host in each of the clutches. So brood allocation is the egg deposition, how many eggs are deposited in each host. And this is the female and this is the male. So the male is, so we have recorded these observations and the results. One is, we have categorized the whole thing into courtship behavior activities in this parasitoid. It's the female and the male is approaching the female. Then the male has mounted on the female. Here you can see, this is the male and this is the female. And then the male strokes its antennae with the antenna of the female and also the head of the female. It is the stroking. Then after completing their courtship behavior, they get separated. This is the male, this is the female, they are getting separated. Here you can see the ovulation and pre-ovulation, the ovulation behavior activities. The parasitoid alights on the post. This is the host female, this is the pupa of the Uji fly. exhibition of thrombosis, which is a problem in the field of silicone bearing in silicone bearing. So the parasitoid has climbed on the puparium and making a lot of inspection, what we call this is the first activity is the drumming behavior using its antennae. So it makes a drumming, performs the drumming activity. Then it's followed by the tapping activity. So using the tip of its abdomen, it taps the host. So these are all the activities performed to know whether host is fit enough for egg laying, or if the host is not fit enough, so it will just abandon that host and move to the next host. Here is the third activity related to pre-ovulation. So it is called the so it uses its ovipositor, which is located underneath the belly, underneath its abdomen, and it is just uncoiled and activity, and then here it has totally inserted its ovipositor into the host. Then it is now laying the eggs in the host. Then it is withdrawing its ovipositor, laying apparatus and from the host. Then after performing the pre-ovulation oviposition, this is post-ovulation activity. So it cleans up its antenna using one of its forelegs. So that's the antenna cleaning, and then it starts grooming. This is nothing but resting, and then it walks off. So that's the walking activity. That's the last activity to be performed. So we have given it in the form of flow chart, the host recognition, the mating, the mounting of the puparium, drumming, tapping, drilling, insertion of ovipositor, then withdrawal of ovipositor, then the preening, the feeding, grooming. So in this particular sequence, and the dotted line, so it can go this way also, it can result to this activity. So like that, wherever the arrows shown on both sides. So here, for example, tapping can, after tapping it can go for drumming, after drumming it can again come back to tapping like this. So it is more or less self-explanatory. So here is the chart indicating the time allocation. Graph indicating the time allocation for each of the oviposition activities. The maximum time is allocated for this is the total time for different activities. Drilling and insertion has taken more time, and the minimum for drumming and tapping. So this is the summary of the whole findings. So you can ask questions. So here the allocation of X to each of the hosts. So you can see distinct, so though there is more or less similar time allocated for each of the activities in each of the clutches, so but there is a distinct variation. So first clutch, so it has allocated more X. You can see the last, it has allocated the least X. Even in the world host, it has followed the similar trend. The maximum in first clutch and minimum in the last clutch. So even the sex ratio, there is a considerable variation. In the first clutch, the sex ratio. So the number of females per male is highest here and it's the lowest here. So there is a negative correlation between the clutch number and the age of the host, and also there is a correlation in the even sex ratio also. So negative correlation can be observed.
All those who are not present at the papers to assemble the same place at 10. Is it clear? All those who are not present at the papers, irrespective of whatever the theme is, please assemble here at 10 o'clock. And the second announcement is that the certificates will be issued after lunch. Certificates to all the delegates who have presented their papers will be issued after lunch, and at 2:30 the valedictory function starts. Alright? So we expect all of you to present the papers in the morning session. Is it alright?